Come back. We've got another very, very exciting matchup coming on next. We have Danish Bears up against the victors of that last series, the one and only Planet Dog. Pretty crazy series, Ben.
That was great.
Yeah.
Didn't see it coming. I thought they had a stronger lineup, but I didn't expect it to turn around that fast. That was like 20,000 net worth in like 2 minutes and game over.
I casted a CIS game actually where that happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were like pushing high ground, and then they dove tier 4s. Enemy team bought back. They all died. Then team who bought back pushed down mid, killed them all again, and won the game. And I was like, okay, 2 minutes, game's over.
And I can't even really say that, like, my original prediction was I liked Singularity's draft better, but I thought Dog were more skilled. But it looked a lot more close than I suspected, even given the draft differences and given my perceived skill differences. But I guess that little lapse of consistency from Singularity really cost them. And also, Darkster had kept them in the game the entire time. It was the 5th pick for Planet Dog, and it was the crux of their entire draft, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what just enabling the Sand King and such. The wombo combos were real in that last game. There was that quite funny bit with the Darkseer just seeming to be invincible as he makes them run circles around him as they chased him about. But it's sad to see, obviously, the end of the road now for some of these teams that have made it this far. It's got to be the painful losses as they will be going home, Singularity. Maybe we'll see them next time. They certainly had a good showing. I think this was a team as well that sort of turned up. I don't think a lot of people expected them to do as well as they did. People didn't really know too much about this team, did they?
Their names are familiar, but they typically don't perform that well.
If you're, I guess, an EU frequenter, then they could be a favorite.
Yeah.
But if you're just...
Did you have them in your top 2?
Top 3.
You did have them in your top 3?
Top 3.
Okay.
But that's because I had seen a handful of them before.
So you knew these guys were actually they're pretty decent.
To an extent, yeah. But I can't say I knew too much about Planet Dog. No one knew about Planet Dog. But then, like, once you realize that they're ex-Pro Dota and
then you're
stuff like that,
okay, this
they
makes
have
sense.
a legacy, exactly. And
Why
so
these guys are doing as well as they are.
Doesn't surprise me, although I can honestly say I did not expect Danish Bears to get this far. A lot of people said, like, Penta and Danish Bears are probably among the top 3 after Secret, but Penta was knocked out, and I didn't really put too much stock in Danish Bears, but they're here, and they're on the precipice.
And they're looking really, really good. I mean, this matchup, I feel like it's going to be tougher for Planet Dog. I feel like in terms of playoff performances, Danish Bears, they've shown us some great games. They also have shown us some mess-ups. You got to say, in that matchup yesterday, Danish Bears versus Mouse Sports, the games that Danish Bears lost, there were some painful losses. They did get crushed in the laning stages. If they suffer in the early game, they seem to find it very hard to come back to a win. They could certainly hold the game off. But so it's going to be interesting to see this one. I mean, last series, laning stage, Planet Dog, would you say these guys, these are lane dominators? Is this going to be a game where they do get the edge early on?
They lost the lanes quite hard.
They lost the lanes quite hard.
They got slaughtered Jakiro'd, and the Lycan couldn't farm at all. So
a lot of that is, it's just all draft dependent, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams do favor the laning phase, but at the same time, sometimes you have an idea of what you want to do, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have strong lanes. Like and they also first phase Lycan, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they didn't not only first phase, but I think it was immediate response pick to the Night Stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's first pick NS and then Lycan.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that hero is actually falling off super hard.
Well, they like him.
Yeah. You can just crush him in the lane. He's not a good laner. You don't even get wolves anymore. You just have Howl in your passive, and that's it. I mean, sure, it's regen. Against, like, annoying off-laners, it can be good if the hero's just by itself. But you send 2 heroes to that lane, and Lycan just goes, oh.
What about support Lycan?
Support Lycan?
You already max Howl.
Better than
But I mean, what do you do as a support Lycan?
You heal people.
Yeah, you look at that. You look at those scoreboard stats.
So
Lycan topping heal.
Would you skill?
How much heal did he do?
I didn't.
You would get wolves in Howl, right, instead of Feral Impulse? Or would you still get Feral Impulse?
No, you get Feral Impulse so you can harass.
But the wolves can harass.
Wolves do nothing.
Yeah, the wolves get killed.
They have no regen if you don't have Feral Impulse.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, that's poopy.
Yeah, support Lycan, you're not selling it to me, really.
See, it's along those lines of my support Huskar build.
Support Huskar. Yeah. Now I remember Winter. Winter used to be all about the support Huskar.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember when it was. Maybe a few months ago we were at LAN and he was like, "Oh, support Huskar."
I'm telling you.
I feel like that's not something he would say.
He definitely Winter is an advocate for support Huskar. At least he was. Maybe things have changed.
Intervit may be one of the most underrated spells.
That's what he said.
He
said you just go around healing people and harassing, outlaning them with the burning spears.
Exactly.
So support Huskar, Winter foresaw it if it does rise into the meta. Yeah. Have we seen any Huskar this qualifiers? We saw a couple of games.
Secret.
Secret.
That's the only one
The
I
cheese
could
with it a
remember.
bit, yeah.
He usually makes a handful of appearances.
Any
Yeah, he's
SEA
always there,
maybe,
isn't he?
but aside from that,
Yeah, I'd imagine maybe there's some games there I didn't catch any, but
yeah.
could definitely be a thing. But anyway, this series, we are just waiting for teams to get into the lobbies, so I do apologise for the wait. I imagine Planet Dog just getting a short break, of course, after that last series. Planet Dog, Danish Bears, any heroes that we're going to see
Puck.
that are going to be these team specific? Puck, as you said.
Clockwork.
Yeah, Hester Joe heroes, I think we can all agree. That's
Clock's going to be banned, I think.
Yeah,
Clock's
Clock,
gonna be banned.
your Bat Riders,
Bat Rider.
Venno.
Venno, as in picks, or do
Yeah.
you think
I
does
don't
someone
think
go as far as
banned.
ban it?
Not
Danish
banned.
Bears will love that hero.
Yeah. But will they ban it? Will it be banned? Is it a hero you ban the Venno? Or do you...
You know, it's
They just
interesting
have other
because
issues.
no one actually bans that hero.
That's
in the
what I'm
first
thinking,
phase.
I
yeah.
know.
No one does.
Second phase.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely not first phase.
Because it's also
It's
a
not
hero that
bad.
everyone runs. It's like
You
a very
You might
easy
first
hero
phase
to play.
Nyx first, them.
Yeah,
yeah.
First phase
yeah,
ban
Nick,
Nyx.
I think a lot of people have actually.
Yesterday, Mouse did that, right? They
Yeah.
banned Nyx and Clock in the first phase every game.
It
It was like
something
this.
like
It
that.
was like
Nyx and
mirror
Clock.
bans every game. Because then
Night Stalker was always being picked up very early. I think
Yeah.
in 2 of the games.
He
I
always
want to
slips
say
through.
it was. Actually, I think Danish Bears picked it in both of the games that they lost. Actually, the Night Stalker. I want to say. I think it wasn't actually a winning pick. I think I may be totally wrong, but it was definitely in a couple of the games. We saw AA in one of the matchups that the Danish Bears picked it, I believe, in game 1. Didn't work out. I mean, do we see AA again? You don't like the AA, do you, Ben?
No.
But teams do.
Sometimes. Sometimes I like it, but not in any of the games that I've seen it today.
I think supports are going to be the most dependent on the rest of your draft. You're going to build it around like your offlaner, your mid laner, like Queen of Pain. Probably going to see a handful of her.
Supports come out first in the draft, though. Generally.
Even, I mean, I'm seeing roamers come out a lot first in the draft, but like I'm seeing like a lot of second phase warlocks, second phase AAs.
Ew.
yeah, like third pick AA is pretty common.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I typically don't like AA either, just because he doesn't.
He loses the lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't offer anything in the lane.
But like we saw it in that last game, it was pretty damn effective. Or do you think the AA was a non-factor? You saw these sort of wombo combos, but you feel like the Ice Blast wasn't that crucial to actually secure those fights.
Ice
that it was
Blast
like-
is super good. That's
I
like
mean,
the
for
best
sure.
part. That's the best part of the hero.
Well, that's one. But like, did they in that game that was just won by
It's-
Planet Dog? Did they, if they had someone else instead of an AA, could it have still gone as well as it did?
I
Like,
think
was the
so.
AA crucial?
Because getting to 6 is the hard part, and
Yeah.
the only reason AA was able to do that is because Sand King was
going
cooperating extremely well with, with the AA. Whereas if you don't have that kind of guaranteed cold feet setup, or you don't have anything that can take advantage of the chilling touch, then AA just struggles to be able to get to that point where Ice Blast is actually relevant.
I think the main problem with AA is that you need another hero with you all the time. And the era of like dual roaming supports is super gone. Like people don't do that anymore. You got to be more efficient during your early game. You got to get a better laning phase. So you spend time moving around with an AA trying to kill people with stun and cold feet. It's like most of the time it's just a waste.
Yeah, why do something when you need 2 heroes when 1 hero can do it much
Yeah.
better?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we will see. We've got 9 out of the 10 players in the lobby.
Ben, were you once an evil genius?
I was.
You were an evil genius at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Care
you
to
were in
ex-
the team.
Care to
I
expand
was
on
on the
that?
team.
Are we on the team?
Fear and Demon, it was like 2010 or 11-ish. It's a few months. Maybe half a year. I don't know.
Did
It's
you
around
win
that
anything?
time. There weren't that many tournaments back
Ah,
then.
okay.
We didn't go to any lands.
What
But
did you
were
play?
signed.
Carry.
I actually don't remember.
You don't?
Because you would swap around roles a lot.
Oh, okay. Was it a good
depending on hero.
experience playing in Evil Geniuses?
Normal. Same
Playing
with my
Dota,
other
man.
teams. Yeah,
Just going
just
ham.
playing Dota.
Oh. I didn't know that. Did you play lane other big names? Navi, Benwu?
No.
No.
Any big team names?
No.
I mean, MYM is the
They're
biggest.
all,
MYM.
It's the biggest name of all.
they're all those teams that we're on have long passed.
Rest in
teams.
peace. Right. Well, this series, one team we're going to be losing. It's going to be the end of the line for them. Winner, of course, goes up against Mouse Sports in the grand finals. It's
The
going to be
best
very,
of 5.
very exciting. Yeah, best of 5. And I mean, at this point, do you feel like all of these teams could definitely stand up to the other, to the level, the caliber of the invited teams at TI? These guys are all strong enough, or do you feel it's good that we're whittling these 3 down to 1?
Against the invited teams?
Against the invited
Like from what you've
teams?
seen in EU, or do you feel like it's going to be a massive step up from these qualifiers to the?
It
the
is
main
a
event?
big
It's
step
a
up.
big,
Step
big
up.
step up still.
Definitely
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, Mouse is probably the closest, as you
Yep.
would expect.
Yeah.
But even they, I feel like, are trailing behind
Like they,
the other invites.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of time, right?
For
Like,
sure, yeah. You've got a
after
lot
this
of time to
qualifier ends,
prepare.
you can boot camp from like
Yeah.
now until TI. A lot
That's
of
true.
teams do that, so you have a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, and I imagine you win the qualifiers, you're going to be able to get good scrim partners in terms of the invited teams there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. When it comes up to will the invited teams would they want to scrim against the teams for the qualifiers, or would they want to keep to themselves?
I think it
rather than-
depends on the team.
rather than
So
mix with the dirty qualifiers.
the way that I see it is, if the team is good enough to let you try stuff, then it's fine. As long as you're not like rolling them every game, it's probably still okay. You get some experience. You're not showing the other like good teams, if you want to put it that way, what you're playing as well.
Because that's what you're most
Because
worried
then
about,
once you
yeah.
get to the group stages, you can play the stuff that you've been playing that you're comfortable with that the other teams don't have experience against. That's why oftentimes you see people only have one scrim partner, because then you're not showing everyone what you're doing. You're only showing one team.
Hmm.
So I think there is definitely some merit to scrimming against even teams that might not even be in the qualifier, just because you get
Yeah.
to play and you get to try stuff.
That's right. I mean, I get teams that don't even, as you say, qualify for TI,
Yeah.
but have managed to get to the end of parts.
But if you're like a tier 1 team, you can scrim whoever you want.
yeah,
You say,
You're
hey,
not
you want to
worried
scrim?
about-
They'll be like, yeah, sure, let's go.
If you were a team that wasn't invited to TI and you could only have one boot camp, a month-long boot camp, would you do it before the qualifiers or before TI? Or, like, pending you make TI?
but why would you only have one?
I'm just saying,
like-
if you could only have one, for whatever
Well,
reason.
you definitely do it before
You-
the qualifiers.
if you
No.
were invited or if you had to qualify.
If
you
you
had
had
to
to
qualify.
qualify,
Then do it before.
you do it before the qualifiers.
Because then you're gonna get
gotta
crushed. in the
put
qual-
everything
yeah,
in on
You
the
don't know if you're gonna
qualifiers.
win the qualifiers.
And then if you win because that is the huge step up in cash as
But-
well.
but
Winning
then-
the qualifiers.
But then you're just going to bomb out in the qualifiers.
least
yeah, but
you
at
went to
least you get a
TI.
crap ton of money.
But
you
what
know
if you're
I mean?
good enough that you can just win without boot camping? Maybe you're just that good.
That's a big gambit.
I think
don't
I,
think
I
even
actually agree with Ben
secret-
because, like, hear me out. You have the ability to maybe squeak by. Maybe the qualifiers are close if you don't boot camp,
Okay.
right? But then if the qualifiers are close when you don't boot camp, then you have like a month to actually like really practice. Because I feel like if you boot camp and then go into the qualifier and barely win, then you're definitely losing a TI.
But then you get money.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
You don't
but
want to take
the
the risk of not
prestige-
getting through the qualifiers and then
It's
getting
not a.
nothing,
I guess
it
it's
seems.
different because I don't really care about the money. You know what I mean?
True.
I want to win TI.
But these teams, I imagine, do. These are teams in this qualifier. Planet Dog, Danish Bears. I mean, Danish Bears. This lineup, they did all right at that Chinese thing, wasn't it?
Galaxy
Is-
battles.
No,
Oh, no, no.
WSG, the
WSG,
big.
yeah.
Galaxy.
I can't remember what
One is
position they fell.
Imperial.
Was it second?
Yeah.
they came second in that. That was
Right.
like $1 million prize pool or something ridiculous. So I guess
Yeah,
they got a good
that
amount
was when
from
they were
that.
Cloud9.
But Planet Dog Pro Dota, they've had a lot of sort of smaller wins, online things, but never really anything that's close to sort of a TI. So this would be massive for them. Last place money will be everything. And of course, I mean, anyway, if you go to TI, you're not expecting to get last place money anyway.
I think the other thing
you're
is
looking
that
higher.
if you also go to TI and you may not do well, but your name is kind of in the heads whenever roster shuffle time
Yeah.
comes around. Whereas if you bomb out in the qualifiers, then no one's going to remember you because you didn't go to TI.
It's yeah.
If you do really crappily at TI, no one remembers
But then
you.
that's true, yeah. I guess you get remembered as doing really crappily.
But these
Yeah.
TI group stages are different now.
Yeah,
We've
that's
got
true.
everyone playing everyone.
You might not even make it a TI. You might just bomb out in the group stage if you don't boot camp.
Yeah,
then.
but you get to play every single team in the group stage, though.
It just
Once.
depends on what your goals are. Like, do you care if people remember you if you do what you want to do?
I mean, sure, I imagine most of these players, when they're in the game, they're not thinking about what anyone else thinks of them. They're just there to win, to play some Dota, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to win, in my opinion, you definitely boot camp after, and
Okay.
hope that you're good enough to win on your own merit beforehand.
I mean, I imagine, these teams anyway, whoever wins should have no problem getting a boot camp before TI in
Or-
terms of sponsors.
Yeah,
Because
it
I
should be
imagine what
easy.
Danish Bears and Planet Dog, these aren't organizations, are they? They're on their
Danish
own.
Well,
Bears
if
are
either
still
of these
extinct.
teams,
Danish-
if either of these teams make it through, they're going to be the new mouse.
They're going to be the mouse.
I like
The
that.
mouse
gonna
would just
throw
move
their
the
old
team.
mouse. So
They
no
were
matter
pretty
what,
notorious
mouse
for that in the
wins
past.
no matter what.
Maybe.
I mean, they were
Yeah.
notorious, but this time they've jumped the gun.
They jumped the gun, they took a team, and it's looking pretty good for them. As was said before, this is the reverse mouse strat, and it seems to be paying off. Mouse, as we said, saw yesterday in that last game, getting themselves to the grand finals. We are nearly ready to go. Teams in the lobby, we just had the sides being picked and such. As, so we've got Planet Dog picking the Radiant side, as Danish Bears chose to have first pick. I mean, are we still in a meta where first pick, second pick, is that bigger in your
Some
eyes than the
teams have
sides?
preferred side.
They preferred side normally, yeah.
Some teams do. Yeah.
Oh.
I always prefer second pick personally.
We're getting the double.
Yeah. Because you can, I guess in this qualifier in particular, it probably doesn't matter that much to have second pick because people aren't necessarily picking a combination of heroes. They're always just picking like the last match we just saw where they first pick Night Stalker and then they just react by taking the Lycan away and then something unrelated as the next pick. So I guess in that sense, it's not as good. But yeah, I like, maybe Side is better. I don't know. I think Dire's still pretty good right now. Radiant used to be way better, but now I think Dire is actually better.
Yeah, and they're no
what
more
happened
like.
to Bristleback?
What do you mean?
I mean, he still thinks
we
not,
don't see him as much.
Picked in like
not in
No.
EU.
10 games.
In EU, no.
I just saw him in CIS like
Yeah.
a couple hours ago.
He's definitely seeming less favourable.
At least
in
in,
EU.
yeah, in these games it haven't been.
And,
No?
and like
Yeah.
every single time, we oftentimes are like, man, Juggernaut would be pretty good here, and they just never pick
Jug
Juggernaut.
does get banned a fair few times, though. I
That's
feel.
true.
Like, he normally is kind of their bans towards the latter of the face. But you're right, sometimes, yeah, he's a hero that has been ignored recently as well. In
It's
these
like the
series.
prevalence of like your Sven Lycans. Jug sucks against those heroes. Lycan is just super fast. You spin and he just munches you to death. Sven is pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, nice spin, bro. God strength in like 3 hits and you're just dead.
It's a good hero, and it's it's good against a lot of like the strong picks at the moment. These roaming heroes. It's a safe laner that doesn't really care too much about being ganked.
Yeah. I think if you're going to pick Jug, you're going to pick it with like an NP lineup. Like Nature's Prophet plus
Yeah.
whatever. Just be as filthy as you can. Just walk down a lane with Healing Ward and mow down buildings. I think that's where he shines.
Well, yeah. Well, we do apologise for this wait, and we do thank you, ladies and gentlemen, at home, for sticking around with us. Looks like Planet Dog just needing a little bit more time before they start this game.
You're not giving us any credit at all. We're being plenty entertaining. They don't even care yet.
They probably do. I mean, Twitch chat, they probably turned the volume right down, haven't they, during the
also
panel?
probably
No one,
I
no,
mute
no one
you
listens to the
guys,
panel.
honestly.
I mean, I mute myself. Yeah. I've muted myself since I started my career. I don't listen to anything I say. That's why. Explains a lot of things.
Now we
that
have
come
it
out
on
my mouth.
tape. He doesn't listen to anything he says.
Yeah, but he's not going to ever have any proof of that because he's not going to listen
Yeah.
to the tape.
Well, he doesn't need proof. We all have proof.
That's true.
That's true. But you knew it anyway. I mean, you hear the stuff that comes out of my mouth. There's no way I review what I say. But sorry for this pause. We wish we could be doing more. We want to see some Dota 2. I mean, it's understandable why these teams are taking their time though. This could be the last series in the EU qualifiers for both of these sides. They've made it this far. I mean, it must suck losing, Andy.
I would imagine so.
This must be, for these teams, Planet Dog and Danish Bears, to come this far and lose.
Well, you
It
know,
kind of feels bad.
we know what it's like to have lost recently when we played the.
It's a little different though. You
Of
know,
course
pub
it's
games, TI
different.
No,
qualifiers.
it's absolutely the
Nice.
same thing.
Of
All
course, it's
three of you
different,
should
but
know.
disappointment is it's something that I don't know if teams necessarily do work for all year round if they're like not a tier 1 team, but it's something where you definitely work for at least a couple of months, and you put in all that time and effort, and
Yeah.
then you lose out, and you're just like, ugh, feels bad.
It's got to feel so bad.
Yeah.
Because I mean these teams at least, with these names, these guys they've been playing a long time. I imagine they do other stuff other than Dota, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of these, as you said, had taken a block
Well,
off
I
to just
know-
focus on the qualifiers, on Dota.
Rise is like one of the oldest competitive players right now, isn't he?
Is he actually? I
Like
know he's
not
been
in
around
regards
for-
to age, but he's played
a
forever.
long time.
Like a super, super long time.
Yeah.
I think
think
Ace
with-
is the same.
With these teams, you have nothing to look forward to if you lose.
Yeah,
Like, I think
it's
if you're
really tough.
a tier 1 team and you somehow lose the qualifiers, you can at least look forward to the shuffle and you can pick up some good players. But like these teams, they're not going to be able to grab any T1 players.
No.
And what's next for them? Qualifying for the next major? That's like 3-4 months away.
I mean, it's more the other way around. Can they get picked up by some other tier 1
Yeah.
team?
But that's unlikely because they didn't qualify for TI.
Right.
It's like,
Which was my point. You got a boot camp before.
I don't know. I'd say there's exceptions, right? Like, say, for example, who's a team that has, like, a really good player? Complexity. Like, Z-Freak.
Okay.
Z-Freak's a baller. I think a Tier 1 team would take him in an instant if he wouldn't play with his brother, for
Yeah.
example.
I mean, I'm sure tier 1
So-
teams had probably tried, to break it up against.
I wouldn't be surprised,
sure.
honestly. But I think
Probably
there's, like, even in the qualifiers, there's probably players like Hestejo, I think, has played very well.
He's
like,
amazing. every
overall.
every draft he gets targeted the most.
Skylark?
Skylark as well.
Yeah,
I
and
think,
it's
stand out from
hard
our
to
spots.
find. It's hard to find 2 players, offlaners and supports.
Yeah.
They're the two that
Those
you're
are the
looking-
hardest to find.
Okay.
Supports are like I think even harder than offlane because they're the ones who need like the most in-game experience and leadership.
And they've got to have arguably the best synergy with.
Yeah, you
the
have to
team.
you have to be a really good shot caller and that's why you always see like position 1 and 2 players being the newcomers on the block.
Yeah, so they're thrown around, or yeah,
Yeah,
young
and it's all
talent.
mechanical skill
Yeah.
and like how good are you at your matchups.
And how good are you at listening to me?
Yeah.
Whenever you're like, I'm the shot caller, you're fresh blood, just listen to me.
Right.
Wow, we have a draft up. We can get it on your beautiful screens. We're going to start seeing what's going on between Danish Bears and Planet Dog as we get into this best of 3. The final best of 3, best of 5 will be the grand final after this one. And the loser to go home, the winner to move forward and play against Mouse Sports. And here we have it. The bans come out, and a second ban on AA.
Wow.
That's an early AA ban.
Maybe. I mean, he's really good at one thing: anti-push. Like a team groups up, they want to take a tower, you get hit by an ice blast, you automatically feel like, God, I really don't want to push anymore. Other than that, he offers like some damage, a little bit of control. I'm kind of with Ben though. I don't really like the hero in general, but people are favoring it pretty heavily, so it has some merit for sure.
They're going to be happy with that.
They actually get clock.
Getting their
Surprising.
clock for Hester Joe.
Ban out the Nyx and Nightstalker instead.
Clock SF time.
Absolutely.
Maybe. Yeah,
They
747.
They do that. They pick clock SF straight up. Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. I think Danish Bears are happy. I do think Planet Dog are happy as well, though. We saw in that last game at the last series. They're great with the Darkseer. They also had Quap in that game as well, didn't they? They had
Yes.
two heroes that they just played straight out the bat against Singularity. A team very good at hitting the Zawombo combos, and I think for that reason alone, you're now, if you're Danish Bears, wondering if Planet Dog are going to get like your Sand King, which is still there. Who else did they have? They Nyx Assassin themselves last game, didn't it? They had another sort of AoE stun. Jakiro's Wombo C comboed a lot with Darkseer, but any sort of those
Sand King.
Wombo heroes. Yeah,
Sand
Jakiro,
King, yeah.
Jakiro and Sand King are the two that sort of scream out to me. And we'll see if they. I think Sand King could definitely warrant a ban, couldn't it? If you
From either team, honestly.
but yeah, for sure.
Sand King fits into like every
Yeah.
lineup.
Disruptor, maybe.
I think Planet Dog showed a big weakness in the last series, though, is that they jungle a lot early.
Okay.
Like their offlaner jungles way more than other offlaners that I've seen. He actually starts off with Iron Talent.
He does actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's this guy, isn't it? Yeah.
And he
He's
doesn't even
always
like
there.
show up to the lane at first. He's
No,
just like, I'm
he
going
No, he's just straight Iron Talent.
Yeah.
So I
Did they
think
have a bad matchup?
it was Darkseer versus Ursa.
But he's
so-
he's
yeah,
literally done this
okay.
in so many games.
yeah,
like-
most of his games.
Yeah, most of his games.
Even
he
in
will
like
not go.
neutral matchups, he will just like straight up dodge
Even
it.
against just like a dual lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll
Would-
go jungle, get at least, level 3. Then he'll think about going to the lane.
Which I think Danish Bears can just easily punish in the lanes. And if he Iron Talons, I think they will, like, they're
They'll-
probably already expecting him to Iron Talon.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, there we have it. Sand King ban as expected from
So
Danish Bears.
What do you do with that though? Do you push his tier 1 early? Do you roam into his jungle?
You just have really strong lanes. Like you just win all 3 lanes really hard, so to the point where they can't really come back. And that almost happened in the last game that we just saw.
Yeah, that Ursa was huge initially.
Yeah, Ursa was huge, the Slardar was huge, and TA was also huge. They lost all 3 lanes, and I think that they could just do something similar, pressure their safe laner. Because Swift Ending plays really weak safe laners. He plays Slark a lot. He plays Lycan. Like these heroes are just like, please dual lane me.
Lifestealer is one of his stronger ones.
Yep.
And they go for the Disruptor.
There's a disruptor you mentioned. And yeah, Lifestealer, definitely a hero that could come out in either of these lineups.
They could do Tree, I think. Tree would be very problematic for them, I think, too, in terms of the early game. There's not that many other good roamers, I suppose, or position 5s. That can,
Tree doesn't help too much in the mid lane though.
yeah, that's true.
Tree's more like a side lane winner.
I think they already have mid lane on lock, though, because Clock SF.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
SF will have
And
max souls.
we've seen Rise is not shy about spending tons of time in the mid lane.
Oh, yeah, this is the Danish Bears are the people that try lane mid every game.
Yeah, it's the DB special.
It's going to
Alright.
be fun.
So
It's worth it
silence,
though if you have
yeah.
Shadow Fiend on
Oh
the
yeah,
team.
for sure. And if this Darkseer goes straight into the jungle, it's also absolutely worth it because you don't need to zone anyone in Silencer in the safe lane.
Yeah, that silencer certainly could get annoying. And a good answer to the wombos that Planet Dog are very good at pulling out.
I feel like DB also really want to get themselves an excuse to pick Legion Commander. Right now, there's no real reason to.
I mean, but yeah, but then
can-
you'd have Hester Joe on that rather than the clock, I feel like you've got to have Hester Joe on his clock.
I don't think you want to play Legion, Shadow Fiend, and Silencer.
Hester Joe clock is just...
That's a very
his
slow
element.
early game lineup. Like Legion kind of sits in the lane and farms. Shadow Fiend kind of sits in the lane and farms.
That's true.
Earth Spirit.
I feel like we haven't seen that much Spirit, actually.
No.
But It's good this game, I feel. You know, you've got a way to play around the clock. You can put a bit of pressure on that Shadow Fiend. You've now got that way that you can sort of look to catch out the Silencer at the start of a team fight to make sure he doesn't get that global out. I mean, depending on how well they play it, this could be a really nice pickup.
It's for the mid pressure and also the classic Earth Spirit DS combo.
Yes,
Ion
all that as
Shell,
well, yeah.
Earth Spirit is terrifying.
Yeah,
I mean, the one downside to that part is that DB haven't picked their safe lane yet. So if they want to go back for something like a Lifestealer, it's still okay. Like it annihilates Disruptor.
Tsunami, you're right. They fell, yeah.
Kids run it down there.
Damn.
That was incredibly lucky. I didn't. Once you said it has to show clockwork, I was like, wait a second.
But hey, you're right. Okay, so they want to move the clock to support. Have Hestejo play as
and
Legion.
now they have a great excuse. You can purge off the silence. You can purge off the magnetize.
Okay.
You can purge off the stun. Earth Spirit loses so much efficacy against a Legion commander.
And it is great catch for the Queen of Pain.
And they also know that the Earth Spirit is going to be the one roaming, so if the Clockwork just sits mid with SF, the ES is going to be totally ineffective.
Clockwork and Silence are going to sit mid with the SF.
I mean,
yeah, that's right. 6 people mid. Let's go.
Clock Silencer support combo, do we like that? That's not really one we see a lot.
It's good because I think the main goal of Danish Bears is you have 2 lanes that are really solid so far. Like the SF is going to be protected by the Clock, which is fine. The Earth Spirit's primary threat is his ability to kill the SF. That's what you're scared of right now in the early game if you're Danish Bears. Clockwork completely nullifies that. Don't even really need the Silencer. He could probably just sit top and zone the DS if he comes to lane.
10 seconds remaining.
They're expecting, well, they ban out the Veno 1 position, which I think is actually pretty sensible, because
yeah, definitely.
It's a very stable thing that Darkseer can't really mess with, even if he did want to go to the lane.
And they've picked it so many times for Ace. Danish Bears love that hero.
There's no physical damage on Dog, though.
I mean, what are we thinking for the last one? I mean, Lifesteal's been mentioned. I mean, Lycan, Sven, they're still around. Could either of those be any good? I mean, Sven, as we sort of said before, there's a lot of games where he's decent. I mean, this seems like one where it could be alright, couldn't it? I guess the clock's a little annoying in terms of kiting, but...
I think Sven SF just eat up too much of the map. I think you need...
Oh, no, it's Sven for Planet Dog.
Oh,
yeah,
for
Planet Dog.
So you've got the follow-up for the Wombo and that heavy physical.
It's okay.
It's alright. I think he struggles a lot versus Clock.
Okay.
5 seconds remaining.
Danish Bears?
How do you feel about something like a Drow for Danish Bears?
Reserve time.
That's...
I prefer some melee hero, like Lifestealer or something.
I thought so
like
at
that.
first, but since this Clockwork is support, he's going to be being more active early on, that you don't need a really super beefy carry, I don't think.
I mean,
I think you want an active safe laner, right?
yeah.
I think
I think
it's
you
actually
want
a
to.
good jug game.
Yeah,
We've said
that's
that
true.
before.
I think you could also go the opposite route and go like AM. I think like they have nothing versus A. Like
That's so greedy, though.
it is, but I think SF is already going to have a good time, and I think you like Planet Dog are probably going to jungle with Darkseer. So
Yeah,
you
Are
just
there
have
enough
free lane.
creeps on the map for a Legion, SF, and AM?
The way he plays Legion, he's usually just sitting behind
Yeah, he's
people, ready,
super
active.
ready
Okay.
to press the attack.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
plays it like a very active hero.
I mean, not to forget as well, Danish Bears are the lineup that have in the past run the core silencer, but not really a time and place for that. To
Well, it's
sort of throw
actually, like, safe lane wise, is good against
Yeah?
Darkseer.
It is, but Rise is just too good on the hero.
that. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what Danish Bears do get.
What if we're just, like, super wrong and it's silencer mid?
Oh,
safe
what
lane
about
shadows?
Oh, is this a PA? Ace is the guy who likes playing PA.
He does like playing PA.
He does like
and
playing
it's
PA.
not a bad PA game. You may have some troubles catching up to Queen of Pain with Blink and Darkseer with Surge,
The Ace PA could be nice.
but you have a lot of setup with Hookshot, Global, and Duel.
PL is actually good, too. Disruptor pretty much is completely ineffective against PL.
Oh.
Lone Druid.
Radiant
Self-sufficient. Because they do like to tri-lane mid so much.
That's true.
Yeah, could ignore the safe lane.
I like that as well against this sort of team that's going to be looking for the wombos. You know, Savage Raw can really throw a spanner into the works when Planet Dog try and roll in, jump in, look for the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that between that and Global, and I mean the Clockwork Cogs, there's a lot of ways that Danish Bears can just break apart the team fight that Planet Dog are going to look for.
Yeah, the reason I suggested Drow Ranger is also because she's a great pusher, and
Yeah.
you can just leave her alone in a lane, and she will take it if Darkseer is not sitting there. And we've mentioned time and time again, Darkseer loves jungling.
I was going to say, I think this, you guys said, because of the way the Darkseer plays, Danish Bears are going to address that. I really
Right.
feel that they have. They've got
Exactly.
these heroes that are going to be incredibly strong in the lane, and if they do get ahead at the start, Lone Druid, SF, Legion, they can start barreling down lanes. And if Planet Dog don't hit their item timings, get those level 6 on the supports, it could be really hard at the moment for them to stop Danish Bears' momentum.
Yeah, it reminds me of like almost a liquid lineup where they pick heroes that just kill the tower if you
Yeah.
leave the lane.
Yeah. Well, final pick for Planet Dog. They need that safe laner. We've mentioned a few. We'll see if they do go Swift Ending.
I think Lifestealer's still fine.
Yeah. Lifestealer.
He can go toe to toe with Legion Commander, and that leaves Disruptor and Earth Spirit free to match the inevitable tri-lane that Danish Bears are going
Does
to be
Lifestealer beat Legion 1v1 though? I don't know. I think it might be a little bit based on like your Moment of Courage procs.
Yeah, that's true. And how much time, like, say, Disruptor spends early on also.
Yeah.
And we know Swift Ending's a fan. You don't think he's going pick me start? No, he's not. He is indeed the Lifestealer. So you guys were bang on with that one. So, but as you said, Andy, you don't feel like that's necessarily an amazing pick. Like there's problems.
No.
For the
I think
you think it's good?
Lifestealer. I think it's great.
You think it's good, but the laning stage might not be.
I was
easy?
just talking specifically about the 1v1.
Yeah. Okay.
Between the Legion and the Lifestealer.
Which we don't know. It might or
Yeah,
might
it might not
happen.
even happen. So it's
Yeah.
it's just conjecture.
No
Okay.
bombs for him though.
He's got Queen
We got the
Kain.
quad,
The Queen. Yeah.
but I guess she's not normally looking to
that's not a
jump
great bomb.
right into the
Earth
middle of it
Spirit.
all.
And,
Spirit?
you know, 33... does he go Blink Dagger? I mean, he went Blink Dagger
He
last
does.
game.
He.
Second or third.
I was going to
You-
say in some of the games we've seen where he's felt it's been necessary.
I mean,
He did just pick it up straight
In
up.
the Singularity game, he had a Blink Dagger, right?
You definitely go Blink with Queen Disruptor, don't you? I think you like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
always
Yeah.
play
it's just
Blink.
at what stage, like, do you go for a mech first? Do you go for, like, a pipe first, which we've been seeing a lot? This game, I don't think pipe is worth it, but...
Yeah, we've definitely seen him pick up Link early in previous games, so could be the case. But overall, are we having a favourite in terms of the drafts?
I'm going with Danish Bears.
Danish Bears.
Danish Bears have more comfort picks, so I'm going with Danish Bears.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a clean Danish Bears sweep here.
Okay. And by clean, you feel like this is a game that actually could quite sharply go Danish Bears' way. Like this may not be a close game if they get a good start.
I have a feeling that they're gonna like win 2 lanes for
Yeah.
sure, and then the 3rd lane is still gonna go okay. And I think that when you have those types of heroes like Shadow Fiend, Lone Druid, and stuff like that, you get the tier 1 super fast. It's gonna be hard to recover.
Let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ourselves into this one. Game 1 of this best of 3. Danish Bears up against Planet Dog. Andy, Tsunami, you gonna stick around for some Dota 2?
I
I
think
will.
we're eating.
Are you eating?
Yeah.
I'll eat. I mean,
You'll eat.
I'll stay.
You'll stay?
I'll
You'll
stay.
eat? Well, you're free to eat. You're free to stay. Whatever's up to you.
See you later, Draskell.
We'll see you around Draskell. See you for the second draft. So Tsunami will be sitting around me and Ben as we take you through this game 1, and I'm excited for this one. You know that off the back of the EU qualifiers, these are 2 teams looking really good, looking really fun to watch as well. I think anyone that would have caught that last series with Planet Dog pulling off some big plays would have enjoyed it, and anyone that watched the game yesterday, Danish Bears versus Mouse Sports, a lot of excitement going on. And it's already going to kick off here with Milan rolling in onto Rise. Looking for the body blocks, trying to buy time for the rest of his team to come in. And there we have it. Kaiser goes for the level 1 blink to make sure he can get in, secure the first button. He'll get it. They've got the Lifestealer coming through as well. Yet to skill. See if he sees an opportunity to go for anything. But it's not going to be the case as Hester Joe gets back. But a nice way for them to start there. First blood for the Quap. And so feels good.
No reason for them to be scared at all with
Yep.
SF still cogging it up. Almost has max souls. 12 of 18 at the moment, but they are sitting on his rune. I've seen 747 just sit in the mid lane though and not even bother going for the rune.
This is definitely the fastest rotation I've seen in a while against this Clockwork Cog strat. Usually they wait until like 30 seconds before, and then they're like, okay, wards has been placed. But no, this time Earth Spirit just straight up went. It was like, I want this high ground positioning.
She's going to follow Hester Joe over, who is going to look to simply take the rune away from Planet Dog. I say that, can the Lifestealer get there in time? No, we can't. Hester Joe will take it. And now, Swift Ending going for a bit of go here on Hester Joe. Smart play, though. Straight up for the TP. Knows it's very hard for these two to do anything. J4 yet to skill, but wouldn't have been able to get in range for the glimpse. So Hester Joe plays it safe, gets himself out of there, and manages to steal that rune.
Uh-oh. 3-3's in a lot of trouble on top.
Is he going to go down?
It depends on
If-
the blocks.
I was going to say, if Rise gets some good blocks off here,
Yeah.
and allows the Lone Druid to pummel him. We'll see if he's going to be successful with that. Here we go, the body blocks. Not quite enough, I don't think. 3-3 will be able to get himself back, but does take a fair bit of a beating.
Yeah, but he manages to steal the creep wave.
That's
which
true.
Arguably more important.
Gets the job done in that
And
sense.
he didn't go Iron Talon this time.
He didn't. Yeah, he manned up. Yeah, that's a fantastic talking point, because as we said, most of the games he will not come to the lane. I mean, looking at what he's up against, is this Lone Druid Silencer I was talking about silence that Rise just
Yeah, well, I
playing
mean,
around here.
half the reason we went on Danish Bears was because, oh, they're going to
Yeah.
crush all 3 lanes. But now Rise, look at this. He's actually contesting. Mid lane is also being contested. It's a quad lane, basically, but uh-oh.
I mean, Rise just casually farming between the tier 1s and the tier 2. Milan will come in with the TP. Rise
Gonna clip
may
him?
pay with his life here. They've got the roll,
Oh, yeah.
and with the Iron Shell, I mean, Rise was playing very greedy there, following the creep wave all the way around to that
The
tier
Dark
2
Seer.
tower,
Yeah.
and he has to pay for that one. So great start for the Darkseer here, thanks to that rotation from Earth Spirit.
Planet Dog are just one step ahead.
Yeah.
They're like Silencer is also just one step behind. He wasn't there. He got caught off guard by the 4-man rotation at the start. He didn't have a TV scroll to get himself out of a sticky situation. He's just not prepared for what has been happening. And they've drawn a lot of focus away from what they usually do too. Like Ace usually has a free lane, but now that the Darkseer's there, Rise is forced to go up there, and it's much different than their typical gameplay of protecting 747.
Which 747 still doing fine, though. 9 last hits, and Clockwork is, he's been keeping him very well protected. So Rise is not entirely necessary. Sure, him dying is not part of the plan. Him dying twice is not part of the plan, but at least the other lanes are still doing fine.
Rise on his way down bottom. He's still just that level 1. See if he can do too much against Swift ending, but unlikely. So 9 CS at the moment on Swift. Does have the slight lead in this CS battle in between himself and the Legion. Doing a good job in the lane. Milan making the pull, ensuring that Swift Denny has good control off that bottom lane.
Three's creep skipping right now too. Silencer can't really deal with it at all. And Lone Druid, he's fine with the creep skip. It looks like Ace is actually going to try and get some more out of it by farming up that big camp at the same time.
Yeah, Lone Druid is probably one of the best heroes at dealing with this kind of strategy, since you just have a super tanky bear. There's actually no threat. You can just respawn it as many times as you want, because I don't really think that Planet Dog are going to be able to kill, or are interested in even trying to kill the Lone Druid for the first 10 minutes or so.
Man, I don't even think they can. Maybe a roll in, but
Oh,
even then you have
Iron
Savage
Shell.
Roar.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Kaiser.
Falling very low here. Ooh, just get the sal for the blink off.
Oh, and Noya tries to cancel it with the flare, but read the wrong direction.
So far, definitely, again, this decision from 3-3 to man up and go to the lane has been huge for the side. Mid lane, again, trading blows. 747 will tick down rather low there with the Thunder and the Poison bringing him down. In terms of regen, what's he got? Does have a salve, but that's him out of the lane for a little bit. Kaiser getting himself a nice free wave because of that pressure. And Darkseer 3-3 now with the Soul Ring complete, so that top lane going to get a little bit easier for him as he can really amp up the pressure that he's putting onto Ace's Lone Druid. But as you said, yeah, Ace definitely a hero that's kitted up to deal with this sort of pressure. Mid lane, talk about pressure. Milan tries for the roll in, doesn't make the connection, and now a bit of a response coming in from Danish Bears. They head forward, curse on all 3 of them. They can't quite get the catch to actually finish off a kill.
Both mid laners quite under-leveled as a result of so many heroes in the mid lane. But Rise not off to his early hot start. I think a couple of times we've seen him with, what, like 20 int 10 minutes into the game?
Yeah, that's the benchmark that I'm holding him to.
Milan getting an Invis rune snipe here, and sees if he could get the bounty as well, but Nora's already over there. Milan might be able to set something up with this. Level 2, 5 stones to play with. See what lane he decides to head for. Has to go rather low on the bottom lane. Shrine back up in, sorry, not back up, but back up for the first time, of course, in 10 seconds. And that looks to be what he's waiting for before he heads back down there to try and continue to put pressure on Swift. But it seems that Swift, he's been doing A-OK down here. The Legion not being much of an issue at all, and Swift having the better time in that bottom lane in this 1v1 for the most part.
3-3's getting a lot of farm up here. He's able to utilize the neutrals very well. I don't know. This early game's just so-so for both sides. I thought Dire would crush a lot harder.
Yeah. But I think it's all hinging on the fact that 33 is showing up. Okay, now.
It's a nice trap here for Neuer. Do they have the damage to bring him down with the battery assault and the blocks? He is gone. That'll be the kill there for the side. At the same time, though, the arguably bigger kill will be in the middle lane where the Shadow Fiend gets dove upon by the 3 members of Planet Dog. And they're looking to turn it into a second one. So despite losing their offlaner, it's going to be the middle lane where the favorable trade occurs as Planet Dog take down 2.
Clockwork needs to be the one to save them, not the Silencer. I think Silencer isn't as good at killing the Darkseer, but I think he's much better at protecting the Shadow Fiend.
I mean, it definitely, that was the call that was made,
Yep.
wasn't it? As soon as they saw the clock left mid, they were like, let's go in, let's punish 747, and bam, paid off massively.
He has less souls than he had when he first came to lane.
Oh, on lane. Mr. Joe will purge off the open wounds, and we'll be fine, but as we're seeing, both heroes playing very, very much on the edge. TP will now come in from the Clockwork, as he'll look to soak up some of the action of this lane potentially. Level 4 at the moment on Neuer.
Oh wow, he almost has Midas already on Ace. It's gonna be like a 7-minute Midas for him. It's good times, good times.
Mid
Yeah,
lane.
it's going to be difficult for Lifestealer this game for sure. You have to deal with the Bear Root, you have to deal with Hookshot Cogs, you have to deal with Duel. If you're kept still and then Rise uses the global following that, then it's going to be so difficult for Dog to be able to save this one position Lifestealer.
No, they don't really have too much save at all. I guess arguably you've got the static storm as such to try and stop more being thrown down.
Yeah, the intention is Dog have to take the fight
Yeah.
to Danish Bears. If they're reacting, they're going to lose out every time.
Well, one thing they're certainly not going to have to worry about anytime soon, Planet Dog, is that global silence. As we can see, Rise still suffering with the levels, just level 2 at the moment, nearly level 3. But the top lane definitely has been the place for both teams to have a great time. Darkseer 3-3 in a fantastic place, and as you mentioned, Ace 7.5 minutes. Midas is complete, and for the most part, other than that early pressure from the Darkseer, he's been pretty much left alone on this lone druid. As Planet Dog not seeming to have any intention of turning their attention towards the lone druid. It's pretty much been the mid lane, as expected. As we said, we thought the mid lane would be where all the action's happening for both of the teams. That's where the focus has been for the majority of this game, from the supports moving around.
I'm curious at what point Swift Ending is going to decide to start fighting, because it's going to have to be sooner rather than later. Because Lone Druid, he's went for that Midas. He does not care about doing anything. He's going to park himself in the mid lane until someone gives him a reason to leave. Whereas Lifestealer, he needs to go somewhere.
Radiant structures.
Oh, Milan in J4. Wrapping around. Iron Shell on Milan. Definitely good potential here to make something happen if he gets the roll connection. A 747 would be the perfect pick to get here.
Shell's about to time out.
And they go straight up. There's the roll. Do they have the damage though? That's the question. Thunder strikes out. They'll trap him up. Okay, Kaiser comes in, has a haste rune. Will be able to take down the SF. Can they get more out of this? The immediate glimpse back, taking Hesjo out of the fight. Neuer has the cogs here to trap him. Has he got the damage with the Patrasol and the Rocket Flare? He does. Will punish the rotation from Kaiser. Gets the double kill as they take down J4 as well. Nice reaction there from Danish Bears, punishing a rather aggressive play from Planet Dog. They do get the SF, but it does cost them.
All 5 heroes of Danish Bears were there.
Yeah.
That's how they play around 747 though. He's not having a great game thus far, but I think overall his team is very happy with the way the pace of the game is going.
Yeah, and that double kill and fight was great for Clock, because suddenly, bam, he's nearly hitting the 6, and that's when we can start to expect to see Neuer pulling out the big guns.
Yeah, it's also Queen of Pain's first major rotation. She had Sonic Wave, and yeah, you can use it, but if you don't kill anyone with it, it's not really worth
Oh, here
it.
we go. Infest Bomb before the armlet comes out. I don't think that 747 is going to expect this, but they are actually going up for Ace. Ace is already in bear form.
Good.
He's prepared for this. Do they have the damage to do this? Well, if that connection doesn't happen, there's no way that they can kill that lone druid. There's going to be time for TP reaction, and Swifty's trying to man up. They drop the wall, but this is all very awkward from Planet Dog, because now they just have to get themselves out of there. They've trapped Swift Ending in the cogs, beating him down here with the bear. The Patrasol and the Curse now causing issues. 747 as well with the rotation. They get the root. They'll take down the Darkseer. There's the hook shot. Neuer comes in, trying to control Swift Ending. Is not quite enough, as Lifestealer will get out. But Planet Dog there forcing the issue a little too hard. And as we saw, you would have thought that they would have learned their lesson from that play around the tier 2. You can't do that against Danish Bears. If you don't get the quick, swift, clean execution, Danish Bears are going to make you pay.
I thought they were actually going to go for the SF. I think SF is a pretty easy kill there. But Lifestealer is lucky to escape with his life.
He was. It was so close
There
to
were
Swift
no
being taken down.
roots. As soon as Lifestealer left, the first root immediately connected on the Darkseer, and then 747 strolled on in and was like, alright, I'll take this. And again, they went for a rotation without the Queen of Pain not using her Sonic Wave. I mean, she wasn't even there, but like...
Yeah, didn't have the TP.
Exactly.
Still on cooldown, unfortunately, but that certainly could have made it a little more understandable why Planet Dog would try for that sort of attempt, but definitely needing to maybe just take it a little slower, or be just a little more calculated, and as you said, Andy, potentially look for the easier targets, try and keep that SF down before he gets big, and we know 747 will. This is a man that we've seen many Shadow Fiend performances from in this qualifiers, and he becomes an absolute beast if he's allowed to.
What low? Oh, 5.5. Global's almost up.
Nice silence, quick off the mark there from Milan, making sure the hookshot doesn't come out immediately. Neuer does have a hookshot to play around with. They're going to try and move in upon this. They'll drop the static storm, it only catches the bear. So that'll be the disruptor ult down, not too much achieved from it.
You can tell that Planet Dog are very pressured, though. They know that with the co-op, they have to fight early, and the Lifestealer, too. Lifestealer is, like, decent, but versus some of the matchups that he's up against, like the Bear and the Legion and the SF, like, he can't actually go toe-to-toe with them in the late game. And they're forced to actually move around so much in the early game, and it's hurting them that they know that they have to go around the map.
I mean, we're seeing this as well because of, as you said, the sort of party around the mid lane. The mid lane is level-wise. They're not in that fantastic of a place. It's Ace that's rocketing ahead in experience. Level 12 on this Lone Druid, 12 minutes in. You can't maybe kind of asking yourself, did they get that bear too much space on the top lane? Is it like, how do they deal with him? They tried one gank, it was failed.
I mean, as it was, they tried to take away more space than usual. Darkseer was contesting the lane.
I mean, that's true, yeah.
Lone Druid was such a good pick because...
he could deal with it.
Exactly.
They tried to keep the SF down as a result, but SF catches up much faster than the Lone Druid. So it's kind of hard to tell whether or not it was worth it for them. Because SF's above the QoP in net worth despite dying a couple of times.
Yeah, he's really caught up because, as you said, off the straight back of the lanes, he was behind, but 747 knows how to bring himself back into the game.
And Hestejo. Hestejo hasn't had to be nearly as sacrificial. We haven't seen him try to fish for duels, which is fine. He doesn't need to be able to, he doesn't have to be going for them at 6. He's been donated the mid lane by 747, and as a result, all 3 cords are once again
Milan infested.
Swapped out lanes and still farming well.
What can they get? They did head towards that top lane. 747 was in the neighborhood.
They even tried to use a scan for him, but he didn't go for the big camp, so he's going to be safe.
Mid lane. Attempt to be made on Tessicho, but immediate reaction there with the global silence and the hook shot, and they can't get the kill onto the Legion. Kaiser now in trouble as he's silenced up. Neuer gets the kill. Swift ending rages, but he has to walk himself out of there. As, again, just an unfortunate play, really, from Planet Dog. Can they get something out of this? They drop the wall looking for 747, but they can't quite finish him off. They do get the glimpse, though. They want this kill, and they will find it. Absolutely crucial they get that. It's a mid laner for a mid laner, Milan. I'm even looking to see if he could get more out of this. So they do take down the SF. They lose the QoP for it, though. Shrining up. Danish Bears, can they get back in on this? That's the question. As to Joe, still yet to get that blink. He's walking forward. Silence will be there. Jump back in from Kaiser, maybe thinking if they themselves, Planet Dog, could go back in on this one. Neuer and Rise are there to back up the Legion. So at the end of the day, they do get the 1-for-1. They do claim the Tier 1 tower. After really thanks down to some nice play from the Disruptor, making sure that they could bring back that Shadow Fiend and secure the kill.
Danish Bears are very happy with that. It was a 1-for-1 trade, but Lone Druid was free farming the entire time.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. For Danish Bears, they've got that.
And he took out
trade-off.
the Tier 1 mid. Sure, it kind of
That's
sucks.
the Relic Gold.
Oh, yeah. Sure, it sucks losing your Tier 1 mid as Danish Bears, but you traded another Tier 1, and a whole bunch of cooldowns were spent. And that's why Legion Commander were, and the rest of the squad were like, okay, even though we're not full HP, they're pretty low. Static Storm's down, Magnetize is down. We can maybe take a fight, but thankfully they backed up because Queen of Pain respawned. Still hasn't used Sonic Wave yet.
Yeah, and I guess, yeah, also with the wall, the Magnetize, and the Static Storm being dropped and putting all your attention towards that mid-fight, you would have hoped for more than just the SF.
They had a really good response. The global and the hookshot came out
I mean, that was
within
perfect.
a second.
Yeah, for Neuer and Rise.
I don't even know how they saw that Infest Bomb coming. That's a pretty unusual Infest gank. But again, they know that they have to come to them, especially before the Radiance comes out. About 1,000 gold away for Ace. One of the fastest I've seen.
That's very scary. Very scary indeed for the side of Planet Dog. As to Joe. Looking for the wraparound. Doesn't have the blink. Milan and Kaiser in the neighborhood. See if he can bait anything out here, but almost certainly Kaiser and Milan will play it safe.
He was looking for the disruptor because they were expecting someone to perhaps be sitting on top behind the Queen of Pain, but it's not the right hero. Wasn't what they were expecting.
Swift ending with his build this game, Armlet, and then going back for the Midas. Are you a fan of this? Is this the... Well, in fact, they may just get the kill here. He's rather tanky, Hester Joe, but not tanky enough to deal with Milan rolling in as well. As they will take down the Legion Commander, and that will be the goal. So Swift Ending now has that Midas on his way out. Be able to keep himself up on par with the farmers, some of Danish Bear's bigger cores. And a quick movement up to the top lane. J4 picks him up, gives him a ride, but the Global's there just to secure the chance for Ace to try and get out of glimpse range, but they do still get it. They're able to bring him back. He now goes for the TP out. They've got a vacuum to cancel it. Kaiser coming across as well. This is a big kill for them to get. Anything they can do to just hold back that Radiance timing, and they will bring him down. That's what they've been looking for a lot of this game, and they do finally get it, that lone Druid kill.
This disruptor's owning.
He's been doing big things.
I can't believe he's gotten so many levels. He was mid lane with his Queen of Pain like for the first 10 minutes and has maxed out Glimpse, hit that level 6 at a pretty good timing, and yeah, he's all over the place, and his team is so good at giving him vision for these level 4 glimpses.
I want to get a tier 1 tower as well, Swift Ending. Things looking up for them there.
The Lifestealer, I think, has been playing really well. Like, he left the lane twice to go infest. He let the Disruptor get a lot of levels, and he killed the SF and killed the Lone Druid. This is kind of the moves that you want. And at the same time, he's keeping his farm up. He's going to be a late game threat with the Midas.
Yeah. Very close to being neck and neck with the Lone Druid. Especially once he pops that Midas.
This matchup is weird, though. Lone Druid versus Lifestealer.
What do you mean?
Like, Lifestealer kind of counters the Lone Druid because you can eat the bear,
Yeah.
and you can also, you don't care about the roar, but at the same time, if you get rooted during the rage, then you're not in good shape, and also Lone Druid typically builds a lot of armor items, and he has Battle Cry. So he's not actually that vulnerable to getting chopped up.
Movement to cut him from Planet Dog, smoke up. And making a beeline straight for the top lane. Swift Ending, sort of baiting this one out as he shows, pushing out the lane. J4, what kind of catch can he get? Rise will dispel the smoke. Immediate with the curse. Does still get the kinetic field, and nice bit of control there from Milan as well to keep him inside it. They'll get the pick off. Silencer down. And Planet Dog securing the ability to take this tier 2 with no possibility of Danish Bears turning up for the fight.
Okay, now's the Radiance timing. Let's see if they can turn things around. They're actually, what, I guess even after this tower falls in gold, neck and neck.
Very close, yeah.
With the Radiance, I think it's going to be a much different story.
And
like
Blink Dagger now completed on Hestecho Legion Commander.
Oh, look at straight up off the back of those 2 big items. They're looking to make a massive impact on the game.
And they have Global up and running.
Let's see what they can do. They'd love to find a big pick. Swift Ending would be ideal. In fact, he's coming back up here. He may be paying for this one. The hook shot will miss, but they do get in range for the duel. They won't get the bonus damage, but they do get the kill. As that was pretty much the ideal target there to catch with that Blink Dagger Radiance reveal.
I'm surprised they went for that Global. They have a Observer Ward to the left on the Shrine area, but they still thought that maybe, I don't know, Rage
Maybe
might come
worried
out.
that
they could always get
around here.
comboed.
Yeah,
The Dark Seer
behind.
into the Earth Spirit combo could just wipe them right there.
What does Darkseer have right now? By the way, this is a great
Hood.
Roche, but Hood, okay.
I mean, is there any way they could contest this? They are without the Lifestealer. Milan will roll forward. Goes for the Boulder Smash. It's a little awkward. They do get the Static Storm, the Vacuum controlling the SF, but he turns, brings down the Earth Spirit. Sonic Wave flies through. 747 still alive. Kaiser jumping forward, trying to find him, but 747 with the ultimate. Hester Joe with the control, has the duel. Locked in place. Kaiser still manages to get the blink out. He'll go for the TP away, will be successful. 747 forced up there. Great play from Neuer to save the Shadow Fiend. They bring him out of that.
747 is so well protected. He got force-staffed immediately when that kinetic field ended so that the Sonic Wave didn't
Yeah,
connect.
Neuer making some beautiful things happen on this
Yeah.
clock.
That's for sure.
He has a force staff himself too.
Yeah.
They that Yules, I think, actually saved him. I think he was like right about Quap was about to die, so she wanted to use him.
Well, and it's because I thought he could cancel. He thought he could cancel the
Cancel the
Requiem.
ult, I guess. Yeah, he thought he could, but it was just after it.
And
yeah.
technically, it also was preventing SF from getting closer to the shrine. They didn't activate it, but yeah, he uled, got glimpsed back, and then Quap was on the high ground. SF got glimpsed to the low ground, and then just killed the disruptor.
Well, that's a good fight to take with your lone druid.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't still too bad for Planet Dog because Planet Dog do stop them from taking Roshan. They get Danish Bear
that's
out.
without
out
global
the pit.
though.
Yeah, it was without global.
Oh, okay.
I think now they can just walk in with global.
It's
and
going to be another
fine.
level of difficulty.
Yep. Oh, trying to go for another kill on Swift. They do have global again. Can he hit it? Oh my god.
Oh, the cogs come just in time. Swift ending, TP cancelled.
This is going to be a slow ending.
And, you know, no, just with these hook shots, it's just a bit of bait play, you know. It's just, it's a
Wow,
taunt.
they went for that duel early.
Master Joe living on the edge.
He didn't rage TB, did he?
Actually going to pop the global here because the rest of Planet Dog came through.
Oh my.
Trying to do something about this. They do have the vacuum onto 3. Sonic Wave comes through from Kaiser. They get the kill onto the silencer, but overall Planet Dog are just melting to this Radiant Spare. Triple kill for Ace. 3-3 trying to get himself out of there. STJ's going to have to blink back again in 6 seconds. 3-3. He'll looking to try and buy as much time as he can, but 3 of his team already dead. He is going to fall as well.
That feeling of hopelessness.
He just saw the Lifestealer die there too.
Oh man, I mean that, again, Planet Dog trying to turn up to the fight after this Lifestealer died. It was always going to be difficult, and especially as you guys mentioned, Silence. Even though he went down, he got the job done at the beginning. But he gets that global silence out, and then Planet Dog are sort of sent into disarray as they don't really have any way of having the damage to bring down these beefy cores on Danish Bears without that Lifestealer.
I think this Pike first build from 747 is excellent.
That's made him so slippery.
And BKB next as well, so they can just all stand and deliver. And then who do you target if you're Planet Dog? They've been bullying the Silencer, but all he needs to do is get his ult out. Legion Commander's throwing herself into these fights, so she's okay with it. And now SF is becoming incredibly tricky to get a beat on.
They just need some good combos. I think
Yeah.
Darkseer Earth Spirit still has a lot of upside in the fights, but they haven't been able to execute the combo just because they've been scattered to the winds. Lifestealer's been trying to farm up, and then the others have been trying to fight them around Roche and prevent them from getting any bigger. But Shadow Fiend, yeah, he's getting close to that critical point where he can just stand there and not actually care if he gets Static Storm and Kinetic Field. He can just stand there and attack.
3-3 as well. Did go for that full-out pipe before getting the blink, but the blink will be the next time on the menu. And as you were saying, that's definitely going to make that sort of play a lot more achievable for Planet Dog.
Lone True doesn't care about it though.
True,
so
it's going to be super hard to catch him out.
Yep. And here he has Vlad's.
He's going for Hood next.
Yeah, he's going for the team fight items. They just need to stay alive during the combo. That's pretty much all they need to do. They can't rely on an LC pressy attack. Doesn't really do much versus the vacuum wall combo. So just building items to help.
Once again, this ward up there, they know that Swift Ending was alone. Now they'll see that he has back up. Now they try and open up straight in with the hook shot, the global, and the duel, holding him in place. They don't get the bonus damage, but again, it doesn't matter because they're getting the kill. Now potential turnaround, Sonic Wave flies through, but look how beefy 747 is. Press the attack comes through, he's kept alive, gets the Requiem off, and now Earth Spirit falls on the sideline. 747 turns with the raises, they land the root. And again, it's Planet Dog losing 4. And as you said, even when they get some sort of a combo, if they don't kill them during it, the chance is there for Danish Bears to turn and easily win the team fight. They're only losing the silencer, but every time they're losing the silencer after he's got the global out. So they really don't care that he's dying because the job's been done, the team fight has been won. And Planet Dog, how do they deal with this? The way that Danish Bears are playing and just countering the style that Planet Dog are trying to bring to this game.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier in the laning phase. Planet Dog have to take the fight to Danish Bears every single time. It's why this Lifestealer got so active early on, and things were initially looking somewhat good. It's just a few missed gank attempts on the Lone Druid kind of the window started closing, and at this point they're losing in Vision War. They have no idea when this initiation is coming in, and as a result, you can't react to global because none of your heroes are farmed enough to have BKBs or Greaves or Lotus Orbs, items like that.
And we saw, yeah, 747 with that Hurricane Pike, Ogre Glove, the bust from his team. They just couldn't bring him down. He's got a nice peak in terms of this early mid-game tankiness. Top has to Joe. Will be caught out of the pit. They do take the Legion kill. That is the space there for the rest of them. Milan's actually going to come in with the smash. They're going to look to try and contest it. They vacuum them outside the pit here. The 747's SF will still find the Aegis, but Planet Dog did get the kill. They're looking to catch out Ace on the sideline, has the Savage Roar, but with the jump forward from Kaiser, they find themselves the Lone Druid.
Wow, what a vacuum.
What a vacuum.
Oh my god. 747 just salvaged that too by Hurricane piking.
Back in.
If he didn't have a pike there, they would have
got the Aegis as well. They would have got the Aegis as well.
And SF, I think, too.
Yeah. 3-3. I mean, we saw them last game. They are so good with these vacuum plays.
Hestajo was just trying to scout, and then all of a sudden the whole fight kicked off, and Global was down, which was maybe a little bit greedy from Danish heroes to, like we said, if taking a fight in the pit, it's risky if you don't have Global up and running, and that's like just... You are... Well, actually, they're not even net worth ahead. Yeah.
I mean, it's still so close.
Yeah.
There was a slight lead for Danish Bears, but what we're seeing exactly the kind of game we'd hope for at this stage of the qualifiers. Very close between the two sides, and plays like that showing us the Planet Dog can still absolutely throw a spanner into the works of Danish Bears.
Lifestealer was actually able to do something in that fight too, before he just gets dueled and globaled, but as long as he pops Rage, I would say, before the global, then he's fine. Like, he can still do enough damage so that he isn't completely useless in the fight. But his farm's getting there. Almost has the AC. Definitely the item of choice here. Hestajo might have a problem, like, winning duels soon.
I mean, we're seeing, aren't we?
He's
You know, he gets the duels, but it takes so long for them to
Yeah.
actually get the win that he's only actually managed to be successful during one of them.
He only just completed the Blade Mail, though.
True.
So
That's going to make things a little easier.
hopefully.
Yeah.
And has SF completed his BKB yet, or no?
Yeah.
So that's also going to be a big X factor.
No, not many ways at all that Planet Dog can fight through that magic community.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
What's Queen of Pain been going for?
Veil Shiva's Yules into Lincolns. She is very farmed.
That's
She's actually top net
wow,
worth.
okay.
How did that
She
happen?
is I think that last fight. and the Roshan still, it's bumped her up. She's ahead of the Lone Druid Midas Radiance. And this was a Lone Druid Midas Radiance coming at a very good time. So you've got to respect that from Kaiser. 7, 2, and 5. And looking to put some pressure potentially onto this tier 3 top. They will lose the tier 2 bottom as Danish Bears are given the space to work down there. And maybe a case of who's going to force back who first. There's the reaction as the bear is sent back just to push the lane back out with the Radiance. Do they want to force it even more? That's the question.
You need to
It's hard
take
to
this.
do so.
Yeah, with the SF Aegis,
Yeah.
you should be thankful that you got even that much damage done on the tier 3 tower.
Dire's top tower.
Do none of them have TPs or something? Like, why is none of Danish Bears going back?
No TP on SF.
No TP on SF.
Oh.
Okay.
They almost lost their tier 3.
That was a fair bit of damage.
And they have the Aegis.
Yeah, they themselves didn't even get to have a chance of tickling the one on Planet Dog. Noya has a hook shot. Just get the vision. See if he wants to commit and see if he can set something up for the team. Goes for the aim, but doesn't catch it. Milan out just in time with the roll. So they, as you said, they get a fair bit of damage done. They get themselves out. Definitely Planet Dog there, outmaneuvering Danish Bears.
That's almost the entirety of the Aegis too. There's only like a minute left. They can't even use it anymore.
They might go for
Yeah, they might go for a T2
the
push.
tier 2 at least, but
It's
more
risky,
than that.
though.
Yeah, even that's
Now
risky.
your mid tier 3 is pushing if you're Dire, though.
Clock really needs level 15. That rocket flare damage.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually the main one pushing out the lanes because SF can't afford to be alone.
Yeah, and Lone Druid hasn't been leaving his bear. Jesus, Kaiser is a madman.
He's getting away with it.
I can't believe this.
Fortification will come out, but other than that, they are set on just sticking as a team, Danish Bears. They don't want to head back individually. Now they'll start to keep it back, but he gets the Hestijo tried for the duel, but the blink was just in time. He's going to blink again in 6, but it's not going to be as soon as that of Kaiser's. Oh, the hook shot this time! Neuer does find the connection. Beautifully done, but oh, again! They don't quite get the blink duel off. Kaiser, he's fine here. They can't waste any more time searching for him.
Goodbye, Shrines.
And absolutely, tier 3 gone. This is going to open up the map. Planet Dog. This last sort of 5 minutes of gameplay, you know, ever since that Roche play, it's been them sort of being the driving force now, making Danish Bears play around them.
I've never seen a lone druid look so impotent at like this stage of the game when
he has such a good start. Yeah.
Exactly.
And behind the net worth of the co-op, yeah, Kaiser has been doing so much for the team in terms of split push and involvement. 7-2 and 5. Very clean game for him. And yeah, that's got to be frustrating. The fact that they couldn't catch him blinking around the trees, even with that clock and Legion, just the timings weren't there. Couldn't get that blink duel off.
No, maybe this time.
Oh, he's blinked in aggressive. But yeah, he's respecting this Hestijo. This is a quad with Shivas. That's a lot of armor for him to punch through. No way he can go for a solo on that. Needs to have some sort of a backup. Danish Bears not in a position to help him out at this time. 747 forcing down the bottom lane. Getting well on his way towards that butterfly. See if they want to go for any sort of plays. No smoke on them. Unavailable. Ooh, Kaiser does blink into this. Neuer has got a hook shot with the global. Can they kill him? I mean, he's got the Yules. He should be able to get the blink off in time. No, the duel's there this time. Comes out just in time to guarantee the kill. Can they get anything more? That's the question. Milan's rolled in on the back. Goes up to the high ground. TP's away. Can they catch more Danish Bears? Neuer moving forward. Hestijo blinks up to J4. J4 still with a lot of health to play around with. Hasn't got the mana to send him back. They hold back the bear with the open wounds. Hestijo wanting to die, but he's getting far too aggressive here. Immediate silence, and the boulder smash is forced back. There's the vacuum wall just onto Neuer. I mean, Hestijo lucky that he could get himself back out of there. He was playing incredibly aggressive, and oh, he may have got back, but Ace gets glimpsed back into the hands of the rest of Planet Dog. There is a Savage Roar. He'll turn and try and beat down onto 3-3. Ace still too tanky. Magnetize was dropped here. Again, keeping the Magnetize going with this rock placement. Milan heading back in. Will be surged. Root won't occur. Again, look at this. Glimmer Cape. They're trying to get themselves back in on this one. Infest into Milan. Dust gets thrown out, but they kept themselves back. And they do obviously just get that quad kill, but Danish Bears, try as they might, could not get anything more out of that engagement as Planet Dog were able to play around them and really kind of teach them a lesson for going aggressive, showing them that they can't quite get away with that yet.
Finally, they pick off the quap. She was like 100 gold away from her Lincolns. I think that's what caused her to blink into the bounty rune and just die.
Well, she has it now.
AC done for Swift Ending as well for the next fight.
Yeah, and after that glimpse, if Swift Ending was able to rage before the Savage Roar came out, that was almost... Well, Lone Druid may have still survived, but it's difficult to say. But that invasion by Hestijo onto the high ground, I thought was going to go much worse.
It looked like it nearly did. Getting boulder smashed.
All these pikes and force staffs are definitely proving to be the saving grace for Danish Bears.
Halberd nearly done for Hestijo. Smoke up from the side. Ooh, it is going to get dispelled by this Invis rune. Just with the last few seconds of it as well, but that is nice. I say that's nice. It's enough to say then there it is. They'll force back 747. Milan's actually going up towards the shrine.
He's trying to get vision for Glimpse. Force out a BKB.
Kaiser. Why is she going to get Hestijo? Oh, is Hestijo going to get in? The global comes out immediately. The Lincolns is there, protecting him from the duel. Hestijo backs off. Swift Ending turns towards the bear, but he gets rooted immediately. Neuer in with a hook shot. The rage out in time. They're trying to bring down the bear. Boulder Smash holds back 747. Bringing the bear low. Kaiser jumping in. Does want to get the gold. He gets it. Plus 300 as he takes down Alfredo. 747 going in with the BKB. The Requiem comes out. Connects onto 4. But already Kaiser blinks back to safety. 3-3 with the surge out. keeping himself alive. Swift ending, Glimmer Capes, J4 with the silence onto Hester Joe, trying to stop him getting any sort of lockdown. They have lost the Disruptor, the Vacuum, the 1-2, 747 in trouble now as he's already used the BKB. He's down, so's Ace. Neuer may be in trouble as well as 3-3 chasing him down. The Boulder Smash, beautiful shot there from the Earth Spirit as Planet Dog take 3, including 2 at the big ones. Ace and 747 taken down. Fantastic fight from them, fantastic kite as well, playing around and pulling Danish Bears apart. And now they've opened up the chance to get in on the mid lane. 747 forced to buy back. But the fortification, tier 3 falling low. Vacuum once again though, quick force from 747, but the Boulder Smash still connects. This was a buyback, he can't afford to let himself go down again, but they're moving forward with the Scream, with the dagger. He's down for 90, dieback on the Shadow Fiend. Planet Dog turning up the heat, and they're not quite done. Double kill as they find Rise as well, get the tier 3. They'll finish off the racks in the middle lane as well at least.
Did Milan just force that silencer in? Dude, what a boss.
I mean, this Earth Spirit, he has been pulling out some great stuff. Milan,
He's been amazing this game.
he pretty much secured that last team fight, and off the back of that, these 2 racks.
He just ran in there. He's like, I don't even, like, they're not going to go on me.
This is the first time I've seen a Dog Earth Spirit, but my god, this is, it seems like he's been maining the hero pretty much.
That's insane.
The whole thing, I think, pretty much got to...
man. It's not finished yet. They're getting him more. If they drag him back, he will be forced back. But Planet Dog taking 2 sets of racks.
Yeah, not...
They're not done. There's 40 seconds without that SF. They want to stick around. Hester Joe getting dragged in by the Vacuum. Thunderstrike. Making it very hard for him to close the gap. Does jump in, but again, Milan with the beautiful Boulder Smash, setting up for the Static Storm. The Sonic Wave onto 2. Swift ending opens up onto the Legion. Hester Joe's down. Neuer tries to hold him back with a hook shot, but it's not going to happen. 2 dead, maybe even more. Ace will try for the TP out. Can he get back in time? He can. He will survive. No, he won't. He ticks out in the base. Oh my goodness. These Milan plays, you have to call GG. He just turned it absolutely up there and made sure that Planet Dog could seal the deal just like that, and they take game 1.
Milan God.
Wow.
Wow.
That was what a way to finish that game.
He came in a big way. Although I don't think I can pinpoint it to an exact thing, but dueling that Lincoln's was definitely like what
I mean,
set this
that
whole
was the
thing off.
first time they saw the Lincolns, I think, wasn't
Right,
it?
and
So
he
it did catch
dove
him off.
in, He
Hester.
blinked in.
He would have died anyways, though. The lifesteal was inside the
Yeah, I
quad.
know, but he blinked in because he thought he could actually successfully duel. And so, yeah, he would have died regardless, but like Global came out immediately after. If you just give up the Legion Commander and don't have to Global, then
Yeah,
maybe it
they
doesn't
were
go that bad.
committed.
I mean, a solid performance, of course, across the board from Planet Dog there. Really nice adaptation as well. From the off, as we said, 3-3 sticking to the lane, getting a lot out of it as the Darks here. Kaiser with a very controlled game, 10-3 and 10. Incredible amount of farm on this Queen of Pain as well. Ending with 21,000 net worth, well ahead of this Lone Druid that it did hit a great Midas Radiance timing. But as you guys said, it felt like he got it. He got the Vlads, he got the pipe. But then there still wasn't really that much Ace could do in the team fights other than a hope for an occasionally useful route.
What a run so far by
Yeah.
Planet Dog, huh?
Yes. This team name at least that no one would have known. But
Everyone
Planet
keeps on
Dog,
confusing them with Planet Odd, you know, but
Yes.
they're on track to get a lot closer to TI.
They're
that's
looking,
for sure.
yeah, incredibly hot. Some really, just standout individual performances, but as well just the team play. I mean, these are guys that have played together for quite a while. I believe under the Pro Dota tag and such. They know what to do. And I think maybe would you say you look back at this draft and you say if you're Danish Bears, you've got to be so careful about giving them any sort of Darkseer combo.
Darkseer, yes.
Yeah.
I think the Earth Spirit, he killed the Silencer like 2-3 times early in the game because he has the Iron Shell.
Yeah.
So I think that wouldn't have been possible from the Earth Spirit without the Darkseer.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen them do Darkseer Earth Spirit. We saw them pull off Darkseer Sand King. Darkseer.
They like
is-
running at that off
yeah.
lane, that is for sure.
Yeah.
Ban that hero.
Ban it.
I think so.
Just straight up. Or of course, take it away as well. Even though it's not really the Hester Joe's off lane, I'd say that I'm sure he obviously could play great Darkseer, but he's more about these clocks, these legions, these
Right.
Batriders, these catch heroes, these heroes that kick off a fight in terms of getting the pickoffs. But overall as well, and as you were mentioning earlier at the start, Rise didn't have as much as impact as you would have maybe hoped to see from him on a silencer early on.
Maybe not in the laning phase.
In the lanes,
His globals were still
His
very
globals
solid.
his globals were brilliant.
Yeah. but it just, I mean, it's honestly all credit to Pro Dota's playstyle and how they were managed to recover out of it, because draft to draft, I still gave the edge to Danish Bears.
Yeah. And what happened to 747? This was a Shadow Fiend that was getting really big. There were points where they couldn't just couldn't kill him.
They shut him down really hard.
You felt that they shut him down enough. Yeah.
They killed him twice early on, and then like they actually couldn't control the lifestealer.
I mean, half the reason he was surviving all those mid-game fights was because he built so many survivability items.
True.
He wasn't building damage.
Hurricane Pipe BKB.
And those are great items to keep you alive and great items to win fights in the mid-game, but as lifestealer gets larger and larger, you need to be able to actually go toe-to-toe with him, not just run away from him.
Yeah, he didn't actually complete his butterfly at the end. He was
didn't.
really
He
close
didn't
to.
get it.
He had like I think like I saw him with 3,000 gold.
The buyback at the end, the dieback,
Yeah.
pretty much made sure that he was not going to get that butterfly done at all this game. But I mean, game two, LD. Do you think we're going to see, as we said, the darks here? Anything else you think it's going to be a hero that's not going to happen again?
I think the Darkseer gets banned. I'm just not really like the biggest lone druid believer generally right now. I feel like we've seen a lot of teams struggle to execute him properly. Liquid is probably the main tier 1 team that's had a lot of success with the hero, but I think if you want to run lone druid, like you have to really know how to play around the hero, take advantage of the fact that like he doesn't need that much help in the lane, and really like hit good timings with him. If you don't, like he falls off pretty hard once the bear gets to the point where you can just blow it up. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see indeed. Game 2 coming around the corner. You got a few words for us, LD? You've popped on.
Yeah, of course. So ePulse is one of our big sponsors helping to make the hub possible. So just want to give them a big shout out, guys. If you haven't already checked out their website, be sure to do so. They offer a competitive gaming on demand platform. You can compete for your opponent's entry fees and stake to play challenges. They also have a cool 1v1 mode. You can ban and pick, set up a 1v1 matchup, 5v5 challenges, in-house games, weekly ladders, and probably the coolest thing that's happening right now is if you join, you can take part in their summer campaign. There are 10 Arcanas, Dark Artistry, Invoker sets, a bunch of other cool skins, and maxgaming.com gift cards up for grabs. So if you're interested in all that, be sure to click the banner below the stream to sign up.
Absolutely. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Always, of course, we're very nice to these guys. This stuff wouldn't happen without them. You know what I mean? We don't do this. Doesn't happen for free, believe it or not.
You're
it costs
telling me
money.
you're telling me you won't work for peanuts?
I won't. You know, I'll take that 10K a day.
How about a cough drop?
Okay, 9K a day if you give me a cough drop. we can settle with a deal like that.
The ego on
That
this
is an
guy.
expensive cough drop.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We are going to have a short break. We will be back for game 2 of this very exciting series. Danish Bears versus Planet Dog. Planet Dog with a 1-game lead at the moment. We'll see you shortly for game 2.